What if I told you that everything you think you know about money is a lie? You work hard, save diligently, and maybe even invest, yet financial freedom still feels like a distant dream. Ever wonder why? The truth is, the game is rigged. The rich aren't just rich because they make more money. They play by a completely different set of rules. And if you don't know these rules, you'll never escape the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. So let's pull back the curtain and expose the hidden truth about money, why you're not really rich, and more importantly, how to change that. Stick around because this is going to change everything you thought you knew about wealth. Let's talk about someone you know, Jim Carrey. Yeah, the hilarious comedian we all love. But did you know that before he became a household name, he was broke? Really broke? As a teenager, his family lived in a van, and he had to drop out of school to help make ends meet. But here's the twist. Jim didn't just wish for wealth, he expected it. He famously wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered and dated it 5 years into the future. And guess what? Before that date arrived, he landed the role in Dumb and Dumber for $10 million. Now, what's the lesson here? It's not just about visualization. It's about understanding that money follows a mindset. Jim Carrey didn't play by the conventional rules of money. He understood something most people don't, that money isn't just earned, it's attracted, and this is where most people go wrong. So here's the million-dollar question. Are you playing the money game the way you've been told, or the way it actually works? If you're struggling financially despite working hard, maybe it's time to rethink the rules you've been following. The hidden truth about money isn't just about earning more. It's about thinking differently about wealth, investments, and financial freedom. If you're ready to break free from the financial illusion, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because we're just getting started. All right, let's dive in and uncover the hidden truth about money, the illusion that hard work equals wealth. We've all heard it. Work hard and you'll be successful. But let's be real. If that were true, wouldn't construction workers, nurses, and teachers be the wealthiest people on the planet? The truth? Hard work alone doesn't build wealth. Smart work does. The rich don't just work hard, they work strategically. They leverage assets, networks, and systems that multiply their efforts while the rest of the world trades time for money. But wait, let's dig deeper. Working hard and hoping for financial success is like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain open. No matter how fast you pour, the water keeps escaping. Instead of relying solely on effort, the key is learning how to contain and multiply your wealth. Hard work is an essential piece of the puzzle, but it needs direction. Picture a hamster on a wheel, running endlessly but going nowhere. That's what happens when you work hard without understanding wealth principles. The truly wealthy aren't necessarily the hardest workers. They're the ones who find ways to work less while earning more. They own businesses, invest in income-producing assets, and create systems that generate revenue while they sleep. The fix? Stop glorifying hard work and start focusing on leverage. Learn skills that scale, invest in assets that work for you, and build networks that open doors. Otherwise, you're running in circles on the hamster wheel of life. Let's take things up a notch, because knowing how wealth really works is only the first step. The next part is even more crucial, your definition of rich. Most people think being rich means having a lot of money. But let me ask you this. If you make $500,000 a year but spend $550,000, are you rich? Nope. You're just a high-income broke person. Real wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep and grow. As Henry David Thoreau says, wealth is the ability to fully experience life. The rich don't just earn more, they retain and reinvest their money wisely. They live below their means and grow their wealth while most people increase their lifestyle with every raise. Imagine money as a game of chess. The average person plays checkers, focusing on immediate moves like buying the latest gadgets or upgrading their car. The wealthy, however, play chess. They think several moves ahead, making financial decisions that benefit them years down the line. And here's a hard truth. Many people think they're rich because they have high incomes, but earning 6 figures means nothing if your expenses eat up everything you make. True wealth isn't just having money, It's having freedom to do what you want, when you want, without stressing over bills or paychecks. It's about financial security and control over your time. The wealthy don't measure their success by their paychecks. They measure it by how much passive income they generate, how much time they own, and how little they depend on a single source of income. That's why a multimillionaire entrepreneur who spends wisely is far richer than a high-paid executive drowning in expenses. So, what's your definition of rich? If it's just a number in a bank account, you might be playing the wrong game. Wealth is not about looking rich. It's about being financially independent. And speaking of financial traps, let's move forward and expose another huge factor keeping people stuck in the cycle of financial struggle. The system wasn't built for you. It was built to keep you stuck. Here's a hard pill to swallow. The financial system isn't designed to make you wealthy. Schools don't teach financial literacy, banks profit off your debt, and taxes punish those who earn money but reward those who invest money. Coincidence? I don't think so. Think about it. Why do schools teach you about Shakespeare but not about credit scores or compound interest? Because an educated workforce is necessary for the economy. But financially independent people don't fuel the system. The truth is, the system thrives on your lack of financial knowledge. The more unaware you are, the more you become a pawn in the wealth machine that benefits a select few. Banks and financial institutions profit off your debt, your fees, and your financial mistakes. The government benefits from tax dollars, and corporations need employees to keep running their businesses. If everyone knew how to build wealth, who would keep the economy running? This is why traditional education teaches you just enough to be a good worker, but never how to break free. Now let's talk about taxes. Have you ever wondered why the ultra-wealthy pay little to no taxes while the middle class carries most of the burden? It's because they understand the tax code. They own businesses, invest in real estate, and take advantage of deductions and loopholes legally built into the system. Meanwhile, the average person works hard, gets taxed up front, and then tries to survive on what's left. So what's the solution? You need to stop playing by their rules and start learning their strategies. Get financially educated, understand how money really works, and start leveraging the system to your advantage. Otherwise, you'll keep being a part of a system that isn't designed for your success. Moving on, let's talk about a trap almost everyone falls into at some point. The debt trap. Why it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. Think about this. The moment you turn 18, banks are ready to hand you a credit card. Why? Because debt is one of the biggest wealth transfer mechanisms in history. The rich own debt, the poor owe debt. Debt isn't inherently bad, if you know how to use it. The problem? Most people don't. They finance depreciating assets and get buried in interest payments, while the rich take on good debt to buy appreciating assets. The difference is what you buy with debt. If you take on debt for a car, luxury items, or vacations, you're making yourself poorer. But if you take on debt to invest in real estate, start a business, or acquire income-generating assets, you're making a strategic move. But here's what they don't tell you. The system is designed to make debt seem necessary. From student loans to car payments, from credit cards to mortgages, you're constantly bombarded with the idea that borrowing money is just a part of life. The reality? The more debt you take on without a wealth-building strategy, the more you're working for someone else's financial benefit. Take student loans as an example. You're told that getting a degree will guarantee a good job and financial stability. Yet millions of graduates are drowning in debt with no clear way out. Meanwhile, the banks that issued the loans, they keep profiting off interest payments for decades. So how do you escape the debt trap? First, recognize that not all debt is bad. Use debt as a tool, not as a crutch. Second, start aggressively paying off high-interest debt while redirecting funds into assets that work for you. And finally, shift your mindset. Stop seeing debt as an unavoidable part of life and start seeing it as a weapon that, when used correctly, can actually make you richer. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, comment the word "more" so I know. Now let's take a sharp turn and challenge a common belief about saving money. The 1% don't save, they invest. You've probably been told to save money. But here's the contrarian view. The rich don't get rich by saving. They get rich by investing. Inflation eats away at savings, but assets appreciate over time. The wealthy understand that money sitting in a bank is losing value. Instead, they put their money to work. Let's break this down. Imagine you save $10,000 in a traditional savings account. With today's inflation rates, in 10 years, that money will be worth significantly less in terms of purchasing power. Meanwhile, if you invested that same $10,000 into an asset like real estate, stocks, or even a business, that money could have doubled, tripled, or more. The problem? Most people are scared of investing. They fear market crashes, bad decisions, and losing money. But here's the real risk: not investing at all. The wealthy take calculated risks because they understand one key principle: money is a tool, not an end goal. Now, let's talk about what the rich actually do with their money. They don't hoard cash in savings accounts. They allocate funds into income-producing assets. These could be rental properties, index funds, businesses, or even intellectual property like books and patents. The goal isn't just to accumulate wealth, but to create cash flow, money that continues to come in without active labor. Another key difference? The wealthy diversify. They spread their investments across multiple asset classes so that no single economic downturn wipes out their fortune. Meanwhile, the average person puts all their money into one thing, their job. And when that disappears, so does their financial security. Here's the reality. If you want to build wealth, you must shift your mindset from saving to investing. The goal is to make your money work for you, not just sit there collecting dust in a savings account. All right, now that we've shattered the saving money myth, let's dive into something just as critical: your mindset around money itself. Why money is emotional, and that's a problem. Let's be honest. Money isn't just numbers, it's emotions, fear, greed, anxiety. They all play a role in how you handle finances. And guess what? The wealthy detach emotions from money decisions. They don't panic sell during market crashes or impulse spend their way into debt. Money is deeply psychological. Think about it. How often do people make financial decisions based on feelings rather than logic? You buy that new car because it makes you feel successful. You splurge on expensive vacations because you deserve them. But the truth is, if emotions drive your financial choices, you'll always be at the mercy of impulse rather than strategy. One of the biggest traps: fear of missing out, FOMO. This is what drives people to buy assets at their peak prices because everyone else is doing it. It's also why people hold on to bad investments, hoping they'll bounce back instead of cutting their losses and reinvesting smartly. The rich? They do the opposite. They buy when others are panicking and sell when others are greedy. Another emotional pitfall? The scarcity mindset. Many people grow up believing that money is limited, that wealth is only for the lucky, or that financial success is somehow unethical. The rich, however, operate with an abundance mindset. They see opportunities where others see limitations. Instead of thinking, "I can't afford this," they ask, "How can I create more income to afford this?" Let's take it a step further. Have you ever noticed how financial stress creates a cycle? When people feel poor, they act poor, making short-term desperate decisions that keep them financially stuck. Meanwhile, those who believe they are financially successful tend to make confident, strategic decisions that lead to greater wealth. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The key takeaway: if you want to master money, you must first master your mindset. Recognize when emotions are dictating your financial choices, and learn to approach money with logic, strategy, and discipline. That's how the rich stay rich. Now let's keep this momentum going and dive into another game-changing truth about money. The uncommon truth: time is a bigger asset than money. Ever heard this before? Money isn't your most valuable resource. Time is. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. The wealthiest people buy time by outsourcing, automating, and eliminating distractions. Meanwhile, the average person spends hours on activities that don't generate wealth. Let's put this into perspective. Imagine you make $20 an hour at your job. If you spend 3 hours mowing your lawn to save $60, You're actually losing money if your time could have been used for something more productive, like building a business, learning a high-income skill, or networking with valuable connections. The rich understand this principle at its core. They don't waste time on tasks that don't contribute to their financial growth. Instead, they delegate, automate, and focus their energy on scalable income streams. This is why wealthy people hire assistants, accountants, and financial managers. It's not because they're lazy, it's because they understand opportunity cost. Every hour spent on something that doesn't grow their wealth is an hour wasted. Meanwhile, most people trade their most valuable resource, time, for a paycheck, failing to realize that they could be using that same time to multiply their income. Another critical factor, the speed of execution. The rich don't just understand that time is valuable, they also understand the power of acting quickly. How many times have you had a great idea but waited too long to act on it? By the time you get around to it, someone else has already taken the opportunity. Wealthy individuals take fast, decisive action because they know that hesitation is costly. The lesson: start treating your time like the scarce resource it is. If something doesn't contribute to your financial growth, ask yourself, is this the best use of my time? If not, delegate, automate, or eliminate it. When you start valuing your time like the rich do, you'll see your financial situation shift dramatically. All right, now that we understand the true value of time, let's move on to the ultimate game changer, the difference between earning money and owning wealth. Here's the final truth. The rich don't work for money. They own money-making assets. Whether it's stocks, businesses, or real estate, they focus on ownership, not labor. Think about it. If working hard was the key to wealth, wouldn't construction workers and factory employees be among the richest people in the world? Yet the people who truly build wealth are those who own the companies, land, and investments that generate money while they sleep. Let's break this down even further. The traditional path to wealth looks like this. Go to school, get a degree, land a job, and work for a paycheck until retirement. But the wealthy play a different game. They don't rely on a paycheck. They create streams of income that keep flowing whether they work or not. This is why passive income is such a game changer. Think about Jeff Bezos. He doesn't personally deliver Amazon packages or work the cash registers. He owns the infrastructure that makes the company run, and that's why his wealth grows exponentially. Meanwhile, the average person clocks into work every day, trading their limited time for a limited income. Ownership is the secret to breaking free from the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. When you own assets, whether it's rental properties, a YouTube channel, dividend stocks, or a business, you're no longer bound by how many hours you can physically work. Your money starts working for you, and that's how real wealth is built. So what's stopping most people from achieving ownership? Fear. The fear of risk, the fear of failure, and the fear of stepping outside of the comfort zone. But here's the truth. Playing it safe is actually the riskiest move you can make. If you spend your entire life depending on a paycheck, you'll always be one layoff, one economic downturn, or one emergency away from financial ruin. The key takeaway? Shift your focus from earning money to owning income-generating assets. Ask yourself, how can I create wealth that continues to grow even when I'm not working? Once you start thinking like an owner, financial freedom becomes inevitable. And there you have it, the hidden truth about money, why you're not really rich, and most importantly, how to change that starting today. So now that you know the hidden truth about money, what will you do differently? Will you keep playing the game the way you were taught, or will you start playing by the real rules of wealth? The choice is yours. If you found this video helpful, I highly recommend watching my next video, which is the perfect complement to this one. Don't hesitate to share this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.